Okay, so if you ever got your hands on a Tamiya Frog RC buggy back in, what, 1983?
Oh, yeah, the classic Frog. Great kit.
Right. You weren't just building a model. You were kind of joining this club, this community.
Mm.
And it had these unwritten rules,
Mm-hmm.
starting right away with this choice about the power switch.
Hmm.
Because inside that amazing box art,
Yeah,
there was this other way to build it, an alternative that, well, for a lot of people, it just became the way.
the standard way, yeah. Even if it wasn't quite box art.
Exactly. So today, we're diving into that little detail.
Yeah.
The Tamiya Frog's 2 switches.
A small thing, but it says a lot.
Totally. We're going to look at how Tamiya actually gave you the parts for this unofficial setup,
Right.
why it got so popular, and, what it tells us about the whole spirit of the RC hobby back then.
Sounds good. It's a neat piece of history.
So the Frog itself, kit 58041, iconic, but it wasn't entirely new, was it? It shared that ORV chassis.
Correct. With the Subaru BRAT, the Lancia Rally, that same innovative chassis design.
And because of that shared platform, that lineage, you ended up with this really interesting situation.
2 ways to mount the power switch, yeah.
Let's talk about the official way first, the manual way.
Okay, so the instructions, the box art build, they told you to mount the switch right into the Lexan body.
Through holes that were sometimes pre-cut.
Exactly. On the original bodies, part number 11825407, I think, you used specific parts like the little A4 plastic frame.
Right, and the rubber boot.
Yeah, the boot. It gave this super clean, hidden look. Looked great on the shelf. Perfect for a shelf queen.
But here's where it gets interesting. Because of those shared parts bins,
Uh-huh.
the Frog kit also came with this, extra piece,
Mm-hmm.
an A7 angled gray plastic bracket.
Yes, the extra part.
And that wasn't just random leftover plastic, was it? That A7 part was specifically shown in the Brat's manual.
That's the key. The Subaru BRAT manual showed using that A7 bracket to mount the switch right onto the chassis frame itself.
Just in front of the antenna mounts.
Right there. So it wasn't some, user hack or modification people came up with later.
No, it was a Tamiya-designed option.
Yeah.
Just maybe not the intended Frog option.
Well, it was a result of parts sharing,
Yeah.
efficient manufacturing. It gave builders a choice, even if implicitly.
And the trade-offs were pretty clear, right?
Oh, yeah. Body mount. Looks amazing, totally clean, but not very practical.
Impractical how?
Well, the chassis mount, even though it didn't look like the box photo, was way more durable and, crucially, easier to access.
So it really came down to priorities, looks versus, real-world use, performance.
Exactly. Shelf queen or runner? That was the question the switch position kind of answered.
Okay, so that makes sense. But why did the chassis mount become so, dominant? Because if you were around back then, it felt like every Frog had it mounted that way.
You're absolutely right. It was overwhelmingly the choice for anyone actually running the car. And the reason was simple. Function over form.
It just worked better.
Way better. That body-mounted switch, it was, frankly, a real pain if you needed to take the body shell off.
Which you did. A lot.
Constantly. Remember the old mechanical speed controllers? The MSCs?
Oh, yeah. Needed cleaning, adjustment all the time.
Exactly. So having the switch wires tethering the body to the chassis, it just made basic maintenance a nightmare. You couldn't easily get the body completely off and out of the way.
Plus, didn't the wires snag?
Hmm.
And the body crack around the mount.
That too. Stress cracks in the Lexan were common. The chassis mount solved all that. Pump the body clips, lift the body straight off. Done. Easy access.
Right. It wasn't just aesthetics. It was a genuine practical headache avoided. Like you said, function first.
Totally.
And that kind of speaks to the whole vibe of the RC hobby in the 80s, doesn't it? That golden era.
It does.
A visible switch, wires maybe showing a bit. It signaled this was a serious, hobby-grade machine, meant to be worked on, tuned, raced.
Not a sealed-up toy-grade car. It showed you were invested in the mechanics, the runner versus the shelf queen distinction, right there in the switch place.
So how did this become the sort of unwritten rule? How did everyone figure this out?
Well, think about local hobby shops. They were huge back then.
Oh.
They'd often build kits for customers, or at least advise them, and they knew the practicalities. They'd build it the chassis mount way.
Ah, so the experts were steering people that way.
And the magazines, like RC Car Action. They'd feature race builds, modifications, always championing functional improvements.
So your memory, or maybe your memory listening right now, of seeing every Frog with that chassis switch, it wasn't just you. It was real. A community consensus.
Absolutely reflected the reality of how these cars were being used.
So the verdict seems pretty clear then. For any Frog built to actually run back in the 80s, that chassis-mounted switch was king.
Overwhelmingly, yes. It just embodied that whole hobbyist spirit, tinkering, improving, problem solving.
And what's really cool is how Tamiya themselves kind of validated this later on.
Right, decades later, with the 2005 Frog re-release.
What'd they do?
The re-release body shell does not come with those switch holes pre-cut anymore.
No way. So they basically retired the body mount option as the default.
Effectively, yeah. They acknowledge how people were actually building and using them, and even now, with modern ESCs...
Which are way simpler. No MSC cleaning needed.
Exactly. But the spirit continues. People still adapt. You see folks clipping the small ESC switch right onto the ESC body itself, positioning it for easy reach inside the frame, still prioritizing access.
That's fascinating. So this tiny detail, this choice between two little plastic parts,
Yeah.
it really shaped how a whole generation experienced that iconic buggy. It shows how communities adapt, innovate, maybe even nudge the manufacturers.
It's a great example of that user-driven evolution in a hobby.
Makes you think, doesn't it? What little unwritten rules or subtle mods define the hobbies or passions you pursue today?